and work the Torah in the word of Adonai from Jerusalem. And Kuma Adonai Neka Yes Neka Neka Ki Mitzion Te Torah Ki Mitzion Te Torah Udavai Adonai Mayushalayim Baruch Shenantan Torah Baruch Shenantan Torah Udavai Israel Yushato.
But that's not true. Those trees are still alive, and there's still things that are going on. So even if we can't see with our eyes, we can know that with our spiritual eyes, that things are still alive and living, and He's still working and moving. Amen? Okay, that's for you. That's for you. Okay? Amen. Anybody else?
Right. Baruch Adonai Bayen. Baruch Adonai Elohim Elohim Asher Baka Banu Mishkahn David Lanu Et Torah Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen. Blessed you, Lord God, King of the universe, who chose us from all the peoples and gave to us all top His Torah. Blessed are you, Lord, giver of the Torah. Right? Noah.
Ish Tzadik Tamim Hayam.
The drugs of Elim Noah.
This is the history of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, lowest in his generation. Noah walked with God.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan banu nimin Baruch atah Adonai Amen.
Blessed are you,
Done. King of the universe.
No, back up.
The heat from my hands, I'm sorry, it's very hot in here.
Blessed are you,
Lord, King of the universe, who gave us the Torah of truth and set everlasting life in our midst. Blessed are you, Lord, giver of the Torah.
Thank you, Father. This is really loud. So last week we shared a little bit about the first word of the Torah, which is Bereshit, which we translate as in beginning. And the first two letters, if we're reading from the right, is the Bet and the Resh, which is like the BR sound. And the last two sound like an eat. And those four letters, if you take them out, mean covenant, Barit, which is covenant. So within that first word of Scripture, that Adonai breathed out is the fact that he's creating this covenant. He's already created the covenant with us before anything actually takes place in a human sense. As we've gone through the time we go through Abraham, through Noah, through Abraham, through Moses, and on through the Torah. But that covenant has already been laid in place. And even just to see it in print, that which Moses wrote on a scroll, that word, that the fact that the covenant's already been done. And so when Peter said, 1 Peter, it said, he was chosen before the creation of the world, but was revealed in these last times for your sake. Again, just speaking of the fact that covenant had already been made. This is, of course, speaking of Yeshua, the Messiah, already being crucified before the foundation of the world, already laying out his arms in his love and mercy for us. All in that first word, in those 4 letters. And in Revelation it says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. And this refers to a few verses back. It's referring to the beasts, whose names are not written in the book of life, of the Lamb slain from before the foundation of the world. So to me, it's just such a beautiful thing to even see in that first word of Scripture the fact that that truth that was then spoken and recorded in what we call the New Testament had been done in the very first word of Scripture. And so in this Torah portion, it says, I have set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a sign of a covenant. It's that same word. And in Hebrew, when a word appears for the first time, there's a foundational meaning to it. And so in one sense, that word covenant, it occurs in Bereshit. It occurs in the very first word. But this is the first time it appears as a single word, covenant, that the Lord has made with us. And so it's such a beautiful thing to see a rainbow, because there's light all around us, and our eyes are only able to discern what we see right now, but there's colors in the spectrum. You know, there's that color of the spectrum like in the rainbow. They're there. We just don't see them. And it so reminds me of the fact that the realm that the Lord dwells in, and the different realms, we don't even know what those realms are, but they're there. And you know, sometimes you can almost see, and we say this a lot, almost you can see behind the veil. Like you're almost there, you can almost reach through. And it's the Lord allowing us to get a glimpse of something. And a rainbow, besides the fact that the Lord said, and this is the reminder of my covenant that I've made with you, that I will not destroy the earth by a flood. That, when we see a rainbow, he's allowing us to see something that our natural eyes, in the physical sense right now, cannot see. So it's those water droplets that then the light hits them and allows that which is hidden to come forth and open our eyes that we may see. And he does that in a spiritual sense. And he does that when you're walking around the earth, when Bobby was just going around this room, and you were seeing that, I would say. Like you're seeing something beyond what we see in the natural. So when we see a rainbow, we're seeing something beyond what we see in the natural. It's a reminder, and it's always there, but we're given these glimpses into actually, beholding how beautiful it is and how perfect it is. And if you see a double rainbow, you're just seeing the reverse. So one looks like that, and the other one starts with the purple on the other side, because it's a reflection of the rainbow in the water droplets that are already there. There's more to it than that, but that's my simple understanding of it. But may we be seen almost like that rainbow, where there are times where the Lord will give us these moments where things in us awaken, and that people make connections. We make connections with different people at different times. The Spirit of the Lord rises up in different ways. And to me, that's sort of like this. That's sort of like when the particles of water are in such a way, in a perfect angle. There's a perfect angle that has to happen between the sun and the water and where you're standing in order for you to see that. And so it has to be lined up. We have to be lined up in our thinking, in our walk, in the words that we speak. So when you see one of those, behold the beauty of it, and recognize that sort of thing comes out of us. And when it does, it's such a blessing. And we don't even know it. The rainbow doesn't know it's being seen. And I bless you.